The United Nations Security Council is scheduled to hold an emergency meeting today to discuss Iran's deadly protest. This as Iran has reopened its airspace now after issuing an order early this morning to close it without explanation. Many monitoring that, by the way, on social media. I saw a lot of posts about it. The order came amid heightened tensions over Iran's bloody crackdown on protesters during nationwide protests. There have also been reports about the possibility of U.S. strikes in response, though we have not seen that. Ken Timmerman is here with us, the author of The Iran House, Tales of Revolution, Persecution, War, and Intrigue. And also we have Janatan Sayeh joining us, an Iran program research analyst for the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you both for bringing on. Janatan, can I start with you? The current situation on the ground in Iran. We have reports, but it's difficult to get solid confirmation on just what is happening. The president says that he believes that the violence is coming down, that the killings rather have stopped or will cease. Do we know that to be true?
What we know about the Islamic Republic is that they do not stop cracking down no matter what. And another indicator is that if the killing has stopped, why is the internet still shut down and why is electricity outages still happening? This is part of Tehran's outreach, trying to deter this administration from a potential strike by putting up a fake facade. I know the foreign minister who appeared on Fox News again propagating the same narrative that the killing has stopped. It certainly is not true, but more importantly, the momentum on the ground is still going on. Iranians are continuing to come out against this regime. That's why if we were not to act right now, we would lose this momentum. And this is an unprecedented opportunity not to really put boots on the ground, but to enable the ongoing movement to topple the Islamic Republic.
And to that point, can I ask you about Elon Musk and Starlink? There's a lot of questions about what do these protesters know? Do they know that they have the support of the United States of America and other nations? Because as Janatan was mentioning, they don't have access to the internet, but thanks to Elon Musk and Starlink and making that a free service, what does that tell you about the situation in Iran?
Well, tens of thousands of Iranians have Starlink receivers. And what we've heard from Elon Musk is that they haven't been using them because they haven't been able to pay for their subscription. So he said, OK, it's going to be free from now on. The regime is actively trying to hunt people down who have Starlink receivers, just as in the past. They hunted people who had satellite dishes on their roofs. One of the most telling things, I think, is what Secretary Bessent, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, said yesterday. He said the Treasury Department is following huge capital flight from Iran, from the leadership. He said, quote, "The rats are leaving the ship." The regime knows that the protests are not dead, that they will revive again. This comes in waves, okay? People right now, we're seeing days of shock and mourning, but the protests will be back. They will be back in large numbers. And the question is, will the opposition regroup? Will President Trump regroup? Will the United States intervene in one way or another? And by the way, we don't have to do it with boots on the ground. We have lots of non-kinetic ways of intervening.
I'm glad you mentioned that because the American people, at least according to this new polling, they're not thrilled, at least, about the possibility of a potential U.S. strike in Iran. This from Politico a poll showing a majority of Americans don't want the U.S. to take military action against Iran. Janatan, what is needed versus what is desired by the American people? Ultimately, that will tell what the president will do moving forward, not polling, but what is needed by the Iranian people. And I want to mention President Obama. He set his red line. What was it, back in 2012, I believe. That was crossed, and no action was done. The president said that the Iran regime is close to crossing President Trump's red line. He's a different type of commander-in-chief. We've seen him take action. Do we see that happening in Iran by the president?
I can tell you the regime in Tehran fears the current administration more than his predecessor, whether it was Biden or Obama. So they're really being responsive to the threats coming from Washington. But the opposition, the Iranian people, and the American people are all aligned on one main theme, which is there's no expectation of American boots on the ground. As we discussed, there are kinetic options and there are non-kinetic options. That said, when we talk about a regime that is opening fire on protesters using live rounds, when they're deploying effectively different proxies throughout the region. They're bringing in Hezbollah. They're bringing Iraqi PMFs. This is not crowd control. This is for mass murder. This is just for the killing of unarmed protesters. And kinetic engagement would be the only option that would level the playing field. It's not necessarily about bringing regime change. What we would realistically see right now is a regime collapse. And kinetic engagement supporting an anti-Islamist movement is the only way that we can ensure a democratic transition in the context of Iran.
All right, got to leave it there. I'm out of time. Janatan Sayeh, thank you, and Ken Timmerman, we appreciate it.
Thank you.